Hey everybody, Nick here, and today we're going to do a little disassembly and maintenance on this little guy right here. This is the Kizer Knives Feist. We're getting feisty here today. So this is going to be interesting to me because I've actually disassembled 3 Kizer Feists in the past. Originally, when these guys first came out, before the Warncliffe version that this one is, and by the way, everything is, it started off scented, so there's no real concern with it so far, but originally, when the Feist came out, there was a major quality control issue. And the other thing to note, sorry to jump around here, is that today I'm using this new tool set here by Weha Drivers and How Me, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But anyways, so if you're seeing different tools than in my the assembly video, that's what's going on here. Just trying these out. Are you a T6-bit? You are a T6-bit. Okay. But anyways, when I initially checked this guy out, they all had these weird machining issues. Like, it felt to me, and, you know, I can't necessarily guarantee one way or the other. I'm not a machinist or anything like that. But the maker was actually very disappointed with them as well. But it seemed like a lot of them had major issues with machining, things like bad grooves, poor machining, you know, etc. And so it seemed like maybe they'd switched factories or something like that, and it really bit them pretty hard. So looking at this guy, I'm very interested to see whether any of those issues persist. So far, at a very quick glance here, it really doesn't. Right now, you can see, once I pull this out of here, I try to pull this out of here. There we go. Yeah, the machining in here is done beautifully. Like, see, last time there were all kinds of little tears and, well, not tears, but like burrs and things like that inside on that surface. It was really, really poorly done, and it was exceptionally poorly done by Kizer standards. You know, Kizer is not, you know, the best of the best in terms of quality, in terms of, you know, abject perfection, but they do good work, generally speaking, or at least in the past, they have generally done pretty good work. And that was way, way below their general level. And it was weird enough that enough people were kind of raising the alarm that I ended up, that was a knife where I filmed a complete review, but I never ended up airing it because I never wanted to recommend it to anybody. And, you know, I felt it was a better use of my time and maybe platform just to tell people, you know what, hold off on this one for the moment. Come on, pop loose. Sure, just drop into the booze. Why not? But yeah, so because they were clearly having an issue and they were clearly not really acknowledging it. Or at least it took them a while to get around to acknowledging it. And even then, they didn't do what I felt like was the good thing, which would be to relabel the Feist, you know, announce the Feist 2 with all of those things fixed rather than just shipping new ones to dealers and leaving customers to sort out whether they got a bad one or not. Whatever, it was pretty ugly, actually. I definitely gave Kizer a little bit of a, well, let's put it this way. I wasn't in a hurry to check out any of this stuff, but I wanted to do a follow-up here just to see whether the new Feist had those issues as well, or whether that was sort of a bad supply or just a bad shop foreman for that week sort of issue that they have since gotten ironed out. And you know what? So far, it really does appear like everything's good to go in here. I mean, all of the machining looks good. They don't seem to have any substantial issues here. Go ahead and drop that into position here. And I'll go ahead and start reassembling here. And I'm going to use, yeah, I'll go ahead and use knife pivot lube. I could just as easily, for this knife being on bearings, use the Nano Oil 10 weight. I happen to have the knife pivot lube closer at hand, so I'll use that here. But they're really, unfortunately, they're not equivalent in price, but they are nearly equivalent, if not equivalent in quality. So, yeah, but there's that. I don't forget if I've already plugged my knife disassembly toolkit video in this video or not, but if I haven't, if you're ever curious about the tools that I'm using, go ahead and check that. Doesn't have this new driver set, but that's okay. Doesn't need to yet. It's just around for the review, of course. Okay, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is lubricate the detent ball hole there, as well as the detent ball path. There we go. Drop that onto here. Now we continue the process of building back up here by putting a little bit of lubrication there. Rotate the bearings to distribute lubrication. There we go. Exxon Shabazz strikes again over lubricating everything. That's okay. Now we go ahead and drop this back onto here. So, this is not wanting to go naturally back together. Wow, that went poorly. Okay, trying one more time here. What I'm thinking I'm going to have to do is install, because what I'm going to need to do here is pull the lock bar down for this to snap into place. So what I'm going to do is, well, I've got everything kind of set up here. I'm just going to go ahead and put in the back screws, the back spacer screws, just so I got 2 less problems as I'm doing that process. I'm just going to kind of put these in very loosely. I just want them to be holding everything so it doesn't, you know, all come apart in my hands, as it just did, as you noticed. Okay, it's a very, very shallow screws. Not a big deal, but it's a thing. But like I said, I'm very, very heartened at the moment to see that there is no sign whatsoever of the same quality kind of issues that were going on with the first Feist. They said that they had fixed those things, and I never actually did get a chance to handle a new generation, so to speak, revised Feist, but, you know, yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I've got the pivot screw here. I put a little bit of Loctite on there. I'm going to go ahead and just very quickly start screwing it together. Then you can see here I'm moving the lock bar over. And then I'll use the lock bar. There we go. Now everything's popped into position. And I should be able to... Okay, that's, I think, too tight. Yeah, there's no play here. So let me try loosening this up a little bit. No play still. We are pretty much dead center. Yeah. There we go. And see, with the better lubrication, this just got a lot snappier. It's a lot happier, frankly. Happy and snappy. It's really all you want out of life, right? There we go. So I am thrilled to say that this shows 0 signs of the quality issues that plagued the first generation. And frankly, I'm digging the whole pattern. It's silly, and the warty blade for that matter. It's a silly thing, but it adds a little bit of... oh, I don't even quite know how to put it. But it adds a little bit of mystique, if you will, to a design that otherwise can be 15 pounds of vanilla. But anyways, there you go. I hope this has been interesting to you, and have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.